we are live and breaking. The big story, of course, remains the floor test that would begin in just a while from now. In fact, details coming in that the Speaker of the Assembly, Rabindranath, has arrived in the Assembly, and also details that are just coming in on the former Chief Minister Hemant Soren, who has left the ED office and would be arriving in the Jharkhand Assembly in just a while from now. So the stage, of course, is set for that big floor test to take place in just some time from now. The JM and Congress are, of course, very confident of sailing through that trust vote that would take place in just a bit. Also note that the JMM claims that they have support of 47 MLAs. With that, they will be sailing through the floor test that would take place in just some time. So it's a 81-seat assembly, 1 seat note remains vacant, and the halfway mark being 41. The JM and the Congress say that they have support of 47 MLAs. So big test that lies for Champai Soren. Meanwhile, the BJP sharpening and training guns at the JMM and Congress alliance of the corruption charges that the alliance, particularly Hemant Soren, has been facing. In fact, just a quick run through of the timeline that we have been tracking. It was on 16th of January that Hemant Soren had told ED to record statement on January 20th, and in just 4 days' time, that is on 20th of Jan, the ED recorded Soren's statements.
अभी थोड़ी देर के बाद तस्वीर जो है पूरी तरीके से क्लियर हो जाएगी। तमाम विधायक विधानसभा के अंदर पहुंच चुके हैं। विश्वास मत थोड़ी देर के बाद पेश किया जाएगा। जी।
All right, so there you heard a lot of reactions coming in from outside the assembly. Meanwhile, security remains heightened, with Hemant Soren all set to arrive in just some time, after which the floor test would take place. So it was on 16th of January that Hemant Soren had told the ED to get his statement recorded on the 20th. And on the 23rd, the ED had issued fresh summons asking Soren to be free between the 27th and the 30th. Following which, on the 29th, ED reached Soren's Delhi residence. However, Soren remained untraceable for nearly 2 days, after which he was, of course, taken into custody. There were a lot of recoveries that were also made by the Enforcement Directorate. With a lot of developments happening over the past few days, a big test there for Champai Soren, who will be facing a trust vote today. The halfway mark note is 41. The JMM and the Congress alliance very confident of sailing through that floor test that would begin shortly. All right, so a lot of reactions coming in. In fact, while the BJP has been training guns at the JMM and the Congress, the latter claims to have support of at least of almost 47 MLAs. Listen in to those reactions.
आज आप लोगों का इतना बड़ा एक दिन है, क्या कहना चाहेंगे? फ्लोर टेस्ट का दिन है दादा।
फ्लोर टेस्ट पास कर जाएंगे। मोर देन सफिशिएंट, नॉट लेस देन 47।
दादा क्या जिस तरह से ये आप लोगों के एमएलए को जिस तरह से रिजॉर्ट में लेके गया था, इसमें जो है सब लोग बोल रहे थे, बीजेपी भी बोल रही थी दादा, हाँ बीजेपी भी बोल रही थी, आखिर क्यों इस तरह का काम करना पड़ा? क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
कोई काम नहीं करना पड़ा, सब यहाँ पर है। आज फ्लोर टेस्ट होगा, नॉट लेस देन 47।
Has 47 MLAs on its site. Meanwhile, these are the live visuals coming in where you see the MLAs reaching the assembly. All right, we have Prakash joining us on the phone line. Prakash, quickly take us through the latest. The JMM leader has been quoted as saying that the alliance has support of 47 MLAs.
अभी तक लगभग 336 कस्तूरबा गांधी बालिका विद्यालय को
प्रदत्त शक्तियों का प्रयोग करते हुए मैं यानी राज्यपाल श्री सीपी राधाकृष्णन, झारखंड का राज्यपाल द्वारा झारखंड विधानसभा को दिनांक 5 फरवरी 2024 को 11 बजे पूर्वाह्न में संबोधित करना चाहता हूं और इस हेतु झारखंड विधानसभा के समावेश में रांची में सदस्यों की उपस्थिति चाहता हूं। मैं आप सभी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि जब माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय सदन में उपस्थित हों तो आप सभी अपने सीट पर विराजमान रहकर अभिभाषण को शालीनता से सुनेंगे तथा पूरे अभिभाषण के दौरान सदन में व्यवस्था बनाए रखेंगे। कोई सदस्य इस दौरान न तो सभा से बाहर जाएंगे तथा न ही अंदर प्रवेश करेंगे। अब मैं माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय की अगवानी के लिए थोड़ी देर के लिए सदन से बाहर जा रहा हूं। मेरी अनुपस्थिति में उनकी अगवानी से आगमन तथा अभिभाषण के बाद उनकी विदाई के लिए मेरे सदन के बाहर रहने की अवधि में भी आप सदन में अपने स्थान पर बैठे रहकर व्यवस्था बनाए रखने की कृपा करेंगे।
Right, so that's a live feed from inside the Jharkhand Assembly. The floor test is set to begin very, very shortly. Just a quick run through of the latest that we are picking up. Hemant Soren has already left the ED office. In fact, details coming in that he's already arrived in the assembly. Let's go across to Prakash, who's joining us. Prakash, the JMA maintains that they have support of at least 47 MLAs. It's all about the number game then, but is it the support of 47 MLAs that the JMM is claiming to be?
Yes, it looks like that the flock is intact, and around 37 MLAs had flown into Hyderabad, and they've all arrived. And in order to keep the JMM Congress flock together, the resort politics was on in the state of Jharkhand ever since Hemant Soren was arrested and the governor was delaying the formation of a new government despite only one formation, that was the JMM and the Congress is taking claim to form the government. Now, the newly formed Champai Soren government claims that they have the support of 29 JMM MLAs, which includes Hemant Soren as well, because the PMLA court has allowed him to participate in the floor test voting. 17 Congress MLAs, that comes to 46, then one from the CPIML and one from the RJD, that is 48. There were few resentments within the JMM, Lovin Hembram and Chamra Linda. They've all met Shibu Soren, who is known as Guruji in Jharkhand politics, and they've made up their mind to support the JMM government. And Sita Soren and Vasant Soren, who are the family members of Hemant Soren, Vasant Soren being the younger brother, Sita Soren the wife of elder brother. They were also unhappy for some time, we are told, but with the intervention of Shibu Soren, the family patriarch, all is well, it seems, and the numbers are there in favor of the JMM Congress as of now, because it's an 80-member house, and for the majority mark, you require 41. And on the other side, the BJP has 26 MLAs, 3 from the AJSU, one from the NCP, which is a fragmented group, and 2 independents are like to support the BJP. The BJP has 32 MLAs in their support. In order to defeat the floor test, the BJP will have to muster the support of at least 9 more MLAs, which looks unlikely at the moment. That is what BJP MP Nishikant Dubey had been tweeting for the past couple of days, that there are few MLAs who are not very happy with the functioning of Hemant Soren and for his involvement in the land scam. Meanwhile, the floor test, Champai Soren decided to go for the floor test as soon as possible so that the MLAs can be brought back from Hyderabad. So yesterday the MLAs were brought Hyderabad after the 2-day stay. Now we can see in the visuals that Champai Soren has arrived, as well as Hemant Soren has also arrived in the Jharkhand Vidhan Sabha, and the Speaker of the Jharkhand Vidhan Sabha is out there to address, to receive the Governor of Jharkhand, Mr. C.P. Radhakrishnan. All eyes would be on him because he's been making political statements time and again pertaining to the law and order situation in the state, the deteriorating law and order situation in the state, and also questions were raised against Mr. Radhakrishnan for the unnecessary delay in the formation of a new government. There were questions raised against the Governor of Jharkhand for a constitutional crisis because for 24 hours there was no one responsible for the government in Jharkhand because there was no chief minister after the arrest of Hemant Soren, as well as there was no president rule. So the questions were raised. All eyes would be on Mr. Radhakrishnan as to what kind of statement he makes in his address to the legislators in the Jharkhand Assembly, because time and again he's been making statements against the government. So we can see uproar and quite a lot of noises in the Jharkhand Assembly once he makes such a statement. So it's going to be stormy when it comes to the governor's address, and after the governor's address, it's most likely the debate on the floor test would start pertaining, and BJP is expected to raise the issue of corruption against the JMM government, to be specific on the mining scam in which former Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren is also involved, and also his arrest pertaining to the land scam in which government land was sold at throwaway prices. So this floor test is very crucial, keeping in mind the fact that we are just 2 months away from the Lok Sabha elections, and as a matter of fact, Jharkhand Assembly also goes to the polls later this year, sometimes in October and November. So immediately after the Lok Sabha elections, all eyes would be on the Jharkhand Assembly elections as well. Remember, Jharkhand has a 81-member assembly, very key floor test today. There you see everybody waiting for Mr. C.P. Radhakrishnan. You can see in the visuals Mr. C.P. Radhakrishnan arriving at the Jharkhand Assembly premises. He's taking the guard of honor. In the visuals, we can see C.P. Radhakrishnan, the governor of Jharkhand, taking the guard of honor. And after the guard of honor, soon be taken inside the premises of the Jharkhand Assembly, where the floor test would begin immediately after his address to the House. And his address to the House is very critical from the point of view that if at all he makes any controversial statement or not, because he's been in the eye of controversy ever since he's been appointed as the governor of Jharkhand, and he's been making political statements as well. So it is going to be quite stormy with the BJP AJSU formation on the one side with 32 MLAs as of now, and Congress JMM MLAs with 47 to 48 MLAs on the other side, with former Chief Minister Hemant Soren also present in the Jharkhand Vidhan Sabha. He's been allowed to participate in the vote, and it's going to be a fiery debate pertaining to the floor test with Champai Soren, the newly sworn-in Chief Minister of Jharkhand for the first time in the history of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha ever since the formation of the state of Jharkhand. The Chief Ministership has gone outside the family of Sibu Soren. Sibu Soren has been...
All right, we will connect with Prakash again. In fact, if Prakash is still with us. Prakash, if you can talk to us more about this number game. The JMM, of course, very confident of having its flock together, maintains that they have support of 47 MLAs. How do you see the roadmap ahead? Do you think that there's going to be political stability in the months and times to come?
Well, after this floor test, you cannot pass a no confidence motion within 6 months. And after 6 months, Jharkhand will gear up for the assembly elections. But if at all, Narendra Modi becomes the Prime Minister of the country once again, which looks most likely, so there will be a lot of political churning in politics all across the country. And you never know, because in a smaller states like with only 8 or 9 MLAs required to topple the government, anything can happen later. But as of now, I don't see any tectonic shift in the politics of Jharkhand as of now. I feel that the status quo is going to remain the same, with JMM Congress leading the government and Champai Soren easily passing the floor test. But later on, after the Lok Sabha elections, there will be a lot of political churning in the entire country. And you may see a lot of changes happening all over the place, because every political formation or every political player looks for a comfortable space outside their party, because the stakes are very high in politics. So as of now, nothing is going to happen. But in future, you may never know what may happen, because Jharkhand also goes to the assembly polls in October, November this year. And the BJP, in all likelihood, would want that the elections are contested under president rule. And they would like to topple the government with 9 MLAs coming to their side. But as of now, nothing is going to happen. Back to you. We'll wait. We'll soon get an address from the governor of Jharkhand, who will be addressing the Jharkhand Assembly members very soon. All eyes are on the address of the Jharkhand governor. Back to you. There you see on the visuals Hemant Soren standing there in the Jharkhand Vidhan Sabha.
All right, so stand by for the governor's address that would begin in just moments from now, following which the floor test would begin. And as Prakash was telling us, the JMM is, of course, very confident of sailing through this floor test, as it maintains that it has support of all 47 MLAs, but remains to be seen whether there is going to be political stability in days and months ahead, as the state is known for the political instability over the past many years. So litmus test for Champai Soren government. Hemant Soren note has already arrived in the assembly to take part in that floor test. And as we speak, these are the live visuals from inside the Jharkhand assembly, where the trust vote will happen in just moments from now.
To all the honorable members in the 14th session of the 5th Jharkhand Legislative Assembly. On the occasion of this first session of the Legislative Assembly in the New Year 2024, I wish all the honorable members and all the people of the state a very happy New Year. In a parliamentary democracy, this institution and its elected representatives have the important responsibility of fulfilling the aspirations of the people. I am happy that all of you are discharging your duties with alertness and promptness and playing a constructive role in the development of the state. 4 years ago, the state government got the mandate to make the lives of the people happy and prosperous and bring all-round development in the state. During this period, the government has tried its best to work as per people's expectations. The task before us was to implement the promises made in our manifesto and build a corruption-free, prosperous state. With public welfare at its core, our government is committed to fulfilling the promises made and is working hard to fulfill the aspirations of the people. With a firm resolve to realize the dream of a developed, prosperous and happy Jharkhand, state government started working in right earnest. We made necessary changes in the previous policies, brought new development-oriented policies and improvements in functioning of the government, focusing on building a clean and sensitive administration with increased public participation at every level. The state government is trying to shape a system where the poor, the deprived, the laborers, the farmers and the tribals, the backward people and the Dalits all can enjoy their rights, and the goal of development are achieved with social justice. Through Aapki Yojana, Aapki Sarkar, Aapke Dawar initiative, our government went to the panchayats to ensure that benefits and services reach the doorsteps of those residing in the remotest areas of the state. 3 phases of the scheme have been implemented successfully. Good governance and social justice are 2 important pillars of the development, and corruption should not act as a barrier in this. The state government is continuously making efforts to eradicate the disease of corruption. This year, a total of 55 new cases related to corruption have been registered. 62 cases have been successfully prosecuted, and 42 corrupt public servants have been successfully trapped. A total of 56 public servants have been arrested on corruption charges. State government is determined to ensure an environment of communal and social harmony in the state. Series of continuous efforts are being made to prevent all undesirable activities in the state. My government has been successful in improving the law and order situation in the state by containing the activities of Naxals, and we are moving towards totally eliminating the Naxal menace. More than 400 Naxalites have been arrested in the year 2023 as a part of anti-Naxal operations. Apart from the anti-Naxal campaign, my government is also making efforts to bring the Naxals into a mainstream of society. So far, under the surrender and rehabilitation policy, a total of 269 Naxalites have surrendered. After surrender, they have been kept in open jail, and various benefits, facilities are being provided to them. To deal with the cyber criminals and the cyber crimes, my government has created Pratibimb portal, which is yielding very good results in the past 3 months. With the usual use of the said portal, 1 or 2 FIRs have been launched and 479 cyber criminals have been arrested so far. Our state government is at the forefront in simplifying up labor laws and implementing labor welfare schemes. Practical and necessary changes have been made in the labor law.
प्रधानमंत्री
Both private investors and laborers. This is giving further boost to the industry and creating employment opportunities in the state with effect from 1/10/2023. The daily wages of unskilled laborers have been fixed at the rate of rupees 352.28, and crores of workers have benefited from this increase. State government is operating state migrant control rooms to help migrant laborers stranded in other states and also in other countries. In the last 1 year, various types of assistance have been provided to 168 migrant laborers. State government is also trying to have MOU with the 10 different states of the country with the aim of providing facilities and rights to migrant laborers in the other states. To develop the skills of the youth of the state, BRISA, Black Level Institute for Rural Skill Acquisition scheme has been started with the aim of taking skill development to the doorsteps of the deprived in remote rural areas and making them economically self-reliant. Currently, the scheme is being operated through listed service providers in 80 blocks of the state. To motivate and sustain the morale of youth who have been unable to get employment within 3 months of successful certification after receiving the skill development training, the state government is giving them employment incentive allowance.